AFTV 3-0 win at home against Bodo Glimt in the Europa League. I'm with Sheroy. How you feeling?
Can't complain, man. 3-0, no injuries. And, I mean, it's as professional as it can be, right? We wanted the clean sheet, wanted to keep the winning momentum going into the game this weekend. Zero complaints from me.
Standouts for you?
To be honest, when we were talking about man of the match, there weren't that many players that I thought were absolutely 10 out of 10, but I think Vieira was definitely a standout because the assist that he got, it wasn't as easy as a lot of people might make out because there was a corner, it came to him, he had to get his feet right, sent the defender one way, and it was really good delivery, right? And then he chips in with a goal. So for me, he is the man of the match. But I agree with a lot of the people on the panel, to be honest. I think Tierney defensively was the standout. And I also think that Eddie, despite the fact that he missed a few chances, he did get his goal and he kept running until the end. And one thing about him now, when his back's to goal and he's getting the ball sort of on that half turn, his first touch to eliminate the man and get him behind, he's clearly worked on that. That comes with time, but he's looking a lot better. So those for me were the standout players.
And on Vieira, I mean, aside from the assist and his goal, he's probably our biggest threat in attack. I mean, in the first half, he had that chance in the box where it got saved. Then he had that chance where he went for the near post when he angled his body for the far post. And then the chance where Eddie kind of got in his way when he ran into the box. So you look at overall today, he was probably our biggest goal threat. And having a goal threat from midfield is something that we've lacked so much over the years. Obviously, Odegaard's been chipping in recently. He's got 3 goals this season. But Vieira is just a different mould. Similar positionally on the pitch, but Vieira is a different mould. And it was nice to see them both working together.
Definitely. All too often if we have even had the depth to have 2 players, we've had 2 very similar players. But I actually think these are 2 different players. And it's great to have a £30 million backup where he can slot into the team. And I wouldn't say there's an overall drop-off in quality because they're different kinds of players, right? You've got Odegaard, who's a bit more intricate, bit more sort of, he fancies the close control and the neat little passes in behind, whereas Vieira seems to have that long-range vision, the long-range shot to go with it. Yep. And he poses a different threat. So if you've got 2 players in a position, it's great that they bring different things because you're not going to come up against the same style of defence every time you play a team. It's horses for courses. You might want someone who's slightly better at the long shot, someone who has that vision. Yeah. And it's great to know that we have that in our arsenal.
And we saw off Bodo 3-0. We move on to the big one on Sunday. Another big one off the back of Tottenham, Liverpool at the Emirates. Confident?
How can you not be? How can you not be? When you look at our record at home, I know that a lot of people say we were the better team against Manchester United. I wouldn't go that far because we still conceded 3, but we certainly played football that was more easy on the eye and we exerted our philosophy on them.
We played the better football.
Yeah, exactly. We've had a really, really big confidence-building win against Tottenham. We've just come here and got a clean sheet. The Emirates is a fortress. The fans are behind us. And look, I know that Liverpool haven't quite been at it, but this isn't the Liverpool of a few weeks ago where they had no midfield, where there wasn't really someone to partner Van Dijk because they had a lot of injuries, right? I mean, I think the only real absentee this weekend might be Robertson. I think Tsimikas will still start, but he's a more than capable.
Exactly.
He's a more than capable replacement. So I think they know they have to do something in this game because if they lose, if I'm not mistaken, they're 14 points off the top of the league. So this is a must-win.
In other words, us.
Yeah, exactly. This is a must-win for them. But I said it to you upstairs. If we ain't going to beat them now, when are we?
We can't take it lightly because, listen, this is not the first time this season there's been doubt around Liverpool. There was doubt in the first few games and then Bournemouth come to town. And I know it's Bournemouth, but a 9-0 victory for Liverpool. You give them something to chew on to, they're going to really, take it by the scruff of the neck. And in the past few years, it hasn't really gone our way, home and away against Liverpool. I think you are right. How can you not be confident? For the first time in a while, we're going into that game in form. And for the first time in a while, they're going into the game out of form, a lot of question marks. Would you change anything? Dan mentioned he'd bring in Tierney for Zinchenko, considering that Tierney had a solid performance today. And against Tottenham, there was space in behind because of Zinchenko's positional, what Arteta wants him to do. Would you make any changes or would you go again with the same 11 that we played against Tottenham?
I understand the logic because it will be Salah occupying that flank. And regardless of the fact that he hasn't necessarily been firing the way he has in previous seasons, he's still Mohamed Salah. He's been up there for Golden Boot. But I'm definitely an advocate of one, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you score 3 at home against Tottenham, who many were saying, there were some people Gary Neville at the beginning of the season were saying, listen, in terms of the top 4, Tottenham are in there. But I mean, he may have changed his opinion now. If we're scoring 3 against them at home, for me, you certainly don't change the formula, particularly because historically, when I'm looking at Liverpool results, we've been overrun in midfield, and when they've got Thiago and Fabinho in there, they tend not to lose, right? But the fact that Zinchenko can slot in there, and it seems as though Partey and Xhaka, I think that could really be a key area for us. I understand that you're risking a little bit, but I think that is a risk worth taking, and fortune favours the brave, as they say.
Yeah, and to be honest, when I asked on the watch along about a prediction for Sunday, everyone went with a confident win, 2-1. I know that's not the biggest of wins, but we'll take any sort of win against Liverpool right now.
We didn't score against them last year, man. So for us to be predicting a win is something. The reason I say 2-1 is whether it's a big game or not, we have been gifting goals to opposition, even if we're at home. So I could see us conceding a goal. I could see us conceding a goal through a defensive error or mistake. But the thing that's different with this team, as opposed to teams gone by, we make a mistake, we lift our heads up, and we get straight back on it. And that a lot of that comes from the fans too. You know, I mean, we bring it up a lot, but you go back to things like the Saliba own goal, whatever it is, the Kane penalty. It's just like, all right, fine, it's happened. Brush it off and we go again. You know, so even if we do concede, even if we concede early against Liverpool, I really don't think it'll be panic stations in the stadium for the fans, the team, or the manager.
Yeah, or the players. I mean, they've shown us since last season. I mentioned that there'll be negative results, but they tend to bounce back. This season after Man United, away to Brentford because of the Everton game being postponed, I needed that Everton game because I thought we need a home game against a poor side to get back on track. Instead, it happened to be Brentford away, a good side away from home, and we dispatched them 3-0. So I get you, the renewed belief, players, manager, fans, for once we're all moving in the same direction. It's been a little while. Thank you, Sheroy.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.